Pow, 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 pow. What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Fourth and Fantasy. My name is Honcho, as you know, and this is my guy,
Siriaco, always call me Rocco.
bro. Rocco, you want to hear something funny, man?
Let's hear it.
Until you confirmed in I think this league fucks chat, I honestly did not know Siriaco was your real fucking first name.
Oh, it's me.
I did not know that. I thought that was a
Yeah.
nickname. You're
No,
the
no,
first.
it's Spanish. Apparently, I learned. When I dealt with some Spanish customers at a paint store I worked at years ago. Because I'm named after my grandfather. He's Filipino, and I always thought it was a Filipino name. And then I met some Spanish people, and they're like, "Hey, Siriaco!" So yeah, apparently I'm not the only one on the planet named that, but I've only met one person with my actual name, so it's not very common that I do meet anybody. There was a baseball player years ago that also had the name, but very rare, man, very rare.
Very well. Hey, I like the name though. But hey, everybody, we have a good slate for y'all today. We're back at it again. A lot of news. We had the first set of games of NFL playoff week, and now we got some more going on today. We had a couple good games. I can't even be mad at it. And before we get into the nitty gritty, please follow us on Blue Sky, and you will catch us on there as we give all our latest NFL news and commentary as we build through this wonderful offseason in Dynasty. And if you're in redraft, go sit your ass down somewhere because you're off until about September. And we would like to bring up, because it has been such a wild week with all our brothers and sisters in California. We just want to say a quick little just shout out to you all. Hope you all staying safe. I know just the videos that I've seen from all the wildfires on your end, man, it is crazy over there, Rocco.
Yeah, it's terrible. As somebody that's lost a lot during our own natural disaster down here in NOLA with Hurricane Katrina years ago. Man, prayers out to the people in California, man. Hopefully y'all safe, and hopefully y'all able to rebuild from this and able to keep going forward and rebuild your lives, because this is pretty awful, and prayers out to you guys. Good vibes if you're not all the way religious or whatnot, but sending good thoughts to you guys and gals.
Good thoughts, good prayers, man. It's been a crazy 2025, I think, and it's only been 12 days in. We're only 12 days in, and it hasn't been some crazy shit.
Please tell me it only goes up from here. Up,
please,
keep
only
worse.
But couple quick news, man.
Yep.
Mike Vrabel has been hired as head coach for the New England Patriots. Rocco, I'm not sure how I feel about this, because he said that he's bringing Josh McDaniels, or he might be bringing Josh McDaniels as one of his coaches. And I'm not the biggest fan of Mr. McDaniels from his tenure previously in New England, and with a couple of guys that I have on my fantasy teams, whether that is a Javon Baker, whether it is a Drake May, or a Ramondre Stevenson. I'm not feeling a little too hot about this signing, but it seems like this was a match made in heaven from their perspective. And if he was looking to coach last year, I think they would have hired him last year. And that might just be where Mayo was a casualty, right? They wanted Vrabel this whole time, and unfortunately, Mayo just had to go. I think looking at it, the big picture, that's probably why. If Mike Vrabel was with the team already, I think Mayo would have got another shot. What do you think?
I think they probably had their eye on Mike Vrabel for a while. He built a pretty good program down there in Tennessee. It wasn't a championship team, but they were consistently good. And a lot of teams, especially teams in the bottom half, would just love to just be consistently good. as opposed to just being consistently terrible. So I think they could have did a lot worse. I think that his offenses have been kind of boring from a fantasy football perspective. And McDaniels has been a terrible head coach, but he hasn't been awful as an OC, so it could always be worse. He could have brought in his old buddy Arthur Smith and just destroyed everybody's hopes and dreams for anything fantasy-wise coming out of New England. So I'm hopefully optimistic about this move. As a Patriots fan, I think that he'll definitely give you guys at least a competent coaching staff, and he'll at least get you to the middle. Whether he can get you much past that, that's a big question. But he does have a quarterback that he can build with, so it's not like he's attached to Ryan Tannehill, who he helped resurrect his career in Tennessee. So.
And let's not forget Will Levis. He was there, I believe, his rookie year.
Yeah, that's that's probably a front office nightmare pick. But I think that he'll definitely bring some competency to the team from a coaching perspective, and he has the franchise quarterback, so maybe his competency and having a franchise quarterback, maybe they can dig themselves out of the bottom 5 teams in the league and start to get towards the middle with aim for higher, because they do have the most important position in the NFL taken care of.
I like it. I like that, Rocco. Another head coaching news that we're hearing through the grapevines: Ben Johnson to the Las Vegas Raiders is starting to catch a little bit of traction, man. And they don't really have a quarterback, but I think in my head, if you go get Ben Johnson and he does become the head coach, that almost guarantees that the Raiders are going to trade up in this draft for a quarterback. Do you get that same type of thinking?
I think he definitely, they would definitely need to have a plan in place, because right now the Raiders would be a ball of clay for any coach coming in, because they don't really have a quarterback unless he likes Aiden O'Connell for some reason.
We don't.
Which
we
most
don't.
people don't. Which most
they
people
don't. The people outside this window don't. I know.
But
no.
The issue may be, it's all going to come down to who Tennessee takes at 1, because they're 95% going to take a quarterback. I don't think they're going to trade down. I think they're QB thirsty. So is Ben Johnson happy with whoever falls and trading up for that guy? Because I don't see any clear. I don't see any clear candidates, any young candidates to QB for that team. So it's kind of interesting that he would align himself with a team without a clear vision of who they're going to draft at quarterback, because they don't have the number 1 pick, so they're not going to be able to absolutely be able to choose, who they want in this draft, which, a lot of people don't like any of the quarterbacks in this draft. So,
but one of the theories that I had,
Jalen Milroe, is that who he likes?
No. But one of the thoughts I had, and follow me, Rocco, follow me down this yellow brick road of bullshit, right? What if, right? Kirk Cousins, insert him into this picture, right?
He's gonna get cut.
Let's say you don't get the rookie quarterback you want. Do the Raiders kick the tire on a Kirk Cousins for a year?
Well, let me bounce this back off of you. Does Ben Johnson want to pin his head coaching career on retreaded Kirk Cousins?
I would say no, because the Falcons just decided to go the other way. We just saw the Falcons. Okay, my bad.
What I'm hearing is he's kind of a lock for Cleveland because one of his old OCs, uh, one of his old coaches is Ken Stefanski. So I feel like I'm hearing they may be a team that's willing to trade back and try to land positions of more importance. Maybe not more importance, but better quality guys in this draft, like Abdul Carter, somebody like that, by
Don't say
trading
that.
back and let one of these QB thirsty teams jump up while
No,
they spend $1 million on Kirk Cousins.
no,
You
no.
don't think so?
I don't want to do that because you said Abdul Carter, and you're about to piss me off because I want Abdul Carter to be a Cowboy. I need him and
How? He's
Michael
gonna be
Parsons.
he's top
Let's,
five. He's not
Rocco,
gonna be there.
Rocco. We ain't talking
You
about
gotta
the
get
being on.
you gotta get realistic
No,
here. He ain't
we
gonna
ain't.
last, Pat. He might not get to 5, much less get to what y'all at 12,
Listen,
15?
we at 12 right now. We at 12 right now, and
No,
I
he's
don't.
not getting there. No way.
Let me. Can a brother dream, Rocco? Can a brother dream? God damn it. But man,
You better
you're
take
right,
that
though.
running back.
Hey, listen.
Better
With
reach
Ben
on that running
Johnson,
back.
well, he just came out, and Genty keeps saying that he wants to be a Cowboy, so we'll see. But with Ben Johnson, I think it would be such a great move, right? It would be so good for Brock Bowers. God damn, I love them. But if you're going to go get a Ben Johnson, go get your quarterback. Go get a running back, please. I'm sorry, and I hate to say this, Zamir White, go Dogs. You know how I feel about my boys. You're not it. Who else they have? Madison, not it. It's like the who was the old guy? The not old guy, but something Cedric something McCourt something like that. So no, when it comes to like Ben Johnson, if he does go to the Raiders, I really do hope he does bring that creative juices that they have. Like Brock Bowers just had over 100
Hmm.
receptions. With Ben Johnson, that could be even up. We were just having this conversation we'll get to this when we get to that certain part of the show. But I got sent to trade, and Rocco was like, and I can't even go into detail on it because it's going to give you guys an insight into what we're going to talk about a little later on the show. So I'm gonna hold that thought for a little later. But I do like Ben Johnson, man. I would have loved him for the Dallas Cowboys. I would have loved him, just because of he's the spark that we need. But my brother, shout out to him. He is a Raiders fan. We've been talking all this week, and he's hyped about the Ben Johnson news, and he hopes that he gets him because this whole offseason he's been like, man, we can just get Shador Sanders. And he was so happy when Antonio Pierce got fired because he said, your first job was to tank, you motherfucker. And now you don't you don't took us out of prime position. They were at the number 1 spot at one point in the season, and Antonio Pierce was like, "They're just going to have to talk to the GM about that one. We can't talk to you, Mr. Boy, because you're out, and the GM got fired. Both of y'all, you got that man fired, Antonio. Now I'm thinking about it, Antonio. You got yourself fired and that man fired. Selfish as fuck.
Hmm.
Let me tell you. But
I
that's how I
think
feel about this.
the real reason, the most obvious reason that Ben Johnson would even consider going to the Raiders is to be aligned with Tom Brady as the owner, because it seems like Tom Brady's the one pulling a lot of these strings in this offseason so far. So
Shout out to Brady.
I think what I think is Ben Johnson likes that brain trust, and maybe he likes one of these more unheralded guys, like you were talking about in a future topic on the show, some of the top 10 QBs in this draft. Maybe he likes one of those guys that aren't projected to go in the first, and would be given full, will be told kind of he'll have a chance to build up a young QB from the ground up, and will be able to absorb a bad season or two to start his career. Because otherwise, it
Yeah.
just seems kind of weird that he would go somewhere where he doesn't have a locked-in QB, a locked-in young QB, clear picture at the QB position, unless he has his eyes on maybe like a Jackson Dart or somebody like that.
Yeah, we can see some of these guys. Depends on what veteran QB comes out. You never know, but I think it's going to be one of these young cats he brings in. Why wouldn't a young coordinator want a young quarterback to set his first real, head coaching job tryout, right? So, yeah, I think Ben Johnson's going for one of these young guys, and they're going to definitely trade up.
Or
If
maybe
they
he
get
likes
Ben Johnson,
Jalen Milrow.
maybe he does. And if anybody can get something out of Jalen Milrow, I think it could be Ben Johnson. And I'm starting to come around on Milrow a little bit. Once again, Georgia Bulldog, so I'm a hater, but I do think in the right type of hands, Jalen Milrow can be serviceable and a good quarterback. But
Yeah,
on
he's the
to
most
our
toolsy quarterback in this draft, that's for sure.
for sure to our next topic. Mel Kiper's 2025 top 10 QBs. Now he's recently just changed this around. Why? Because, and now I'm going to say it, Carson Beck. And I'm so happy when I saw this news. Carson Beck decided not to go into the 2025 NFL draft. He actually is transferring to the University of Miami to be their starting quarterback. Well, let's hope, right? Unless he gets beat out. But you would think that he's going to be the starter for the Hurricanes, as he wasn't going to be able to come back to Bulldogs. We have a dog waiting for that starting QB spot that I think we want to win. Ryan Puglisi. I always mispronounce his name. Puglisi. Puglisi. That boy's last name is so hard. But he was a freshman this last season, and I think we want him to compete with Stockton. I think he wins that QB job, but these are Mel Kiper's top 10 quarterbacks.
Let's see it.
No. At number 1, he has Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. He has Cam Ward at 2, Jackson Dart at 3, Jalen Milrow at 4, Quinn Ewers at 5. At 6, Will Howard from Ohio State, Curtis Rourke from Indiana, Tyler Shug from Louisville, Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, and Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. How do you feel about this man's top 10 class?
Some
And
interesting names.
is there anybody that you would personally move up or down on his list?
No, I kind of like it. I will say there's a couple people on here I've never heard of, which
And
will be the case in a weak
Yes.
QB draft. With this QB draft, we'll be lucky if we get, maybe 2-3 guys that are, future starters in the NFL. We're looking at a lot of backups on this list. Interesting, you got the QB 6 and the QB 10 are going to play in the national championship coming up. Will Howard and Riley Leonard. So that's pretty interesting. Will Howard's outplayed a lot of big names to get into the championship game.
Can I just say, Rocco, that
Yeah.
Will Howard has kind of flipped the switch. I want to say flipped the switch because I still don't think he's one of the top guys in this draft, right? But compared to when Marvin Harrison Jr. was coming out last year, and people are like, "Oh, he had a down year," and all people kept talking about was because of his quarterback. That's the reason why he had a down year. Well, that quarterback was Will Howard. Now that he in 2024, it seemed like he had a better year. Mind you, he didn't have a lack of stars around him. He had literally the freshman phenom Jeremiah Smith as the number one freshman had a year. He had Eminke Mbuka as the other one. You had your duo of running backs. So you wasn't lack of stars in our offense. I don't, you know what I mean? And then you talked about Riley Leonard, who is going to be in the national championship. And I guess you could say he has risen because he's had to get the team there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it with Riley though. If we go back and look at the Georgia game, it's not like he dimed us up. It's not like he lit us up all over the field. Yes, he beat us on his feet. That's literally why. If it wasn't for that return kickoff, right? If it wasn't for that fumble strip, and then they got it for a touchdown, they went to go get a touchdown before the half. That game's a lot closer than what the scoreboard ended up being. Riley Leonard didn't kill us. I don't think he was the reason why they got to the championship. They have a really good defense, but I really do like the Notre Dame's head coach. I think he's going to be really good for that program. Going forward, I think Dylan Gambrell, he might be moved up for me. He's ahead of Tyler and Curtis, even
Mm-hmm.
though Indiana did have a pretty good, I say, season as well. But uh, Kim, one of my favorite guys that I will 100% root for is Jackson Dart. I think that he is one of the best RPO guys, and it's all going to be dependent on where he lands up and who can develop him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he has that moxie that you look for in a QB spot. I love what we saw from him in that championship game. He's a gunslinger to the T of it, to the actual definition of what a gunslinger is. And he doesn't even have the biggest arm in this class, but I think he has enough arms to make every NFL throw that's needed. And he's also good on his feet. But I think the person with the highest ceiling, and this could be a toss up, right? If once again, because this goes to if he is able to go to the right team, the right coach, the right QB coach to get him to that spot. This particular quarterback has the tools to be everything that we're currently looking for in the modern day NFL. He could be, I would hate to say it, but Lamar-esque, if you will. Jalen Milroe, I think, could be really good in the right hands. I think where we want a guy to be athletic, I think he could be a sub 4-4 guy. He could be competing with Shador Sanders, Cam Ward as some of the best guys to come out of this class. And we've said that this is a weaker QB class compared to what we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, a lot of these guys are just going to be looking for where they go. You know, I like Shador Sanders with the Raiders. I don't like Shador Sanders with the Titans. But, nevertheless, we'll see what happens when, as the draft process goes along, these guys actually start their testing. We get a little bit more in look of what these guys are made of. I believe Jackson Dart is actually invited to the Senior Bowl, which is one of my favorite events to watch. So
We gotta get
things like that.
Like really thinking about going down there.
Yeah, I think I gotta look at timing wise when that actually is. But for the fans, that's something where help us out, help us grow, because that's something we're trying to get credentials for in 2026 as
Yep.
media
Yep.
passes. So that's one of our goals is to
Who
grow enough to actually be able to apply.
who would you say are your top 5?
From this for the QBs, my top
Yeah.
5. Number 1 would be Shador. I think he's one of the best processors in this class. And what he had to deal with in Colorado with that horrible offensive line, like that boy was getting killed. And he was still out there diming it up and, kind of still living. I won't say you're living in the shadow of your father, but, you're he has the swagger that you're looking for. He has the confidence that you're looking for. He can make all the throws. He's athletic enough to extend plays. And like I said, he's one of the best processors in this class when it comes to pre-checks, pre-snap, getting to where you need to, and knowing coverage. So don't give me a Shador Sanders every single time, but I absolutely think Cam Ward is right behind him. He has ice in his veins, and people say he should because he's been in college forever. Yes, but the composure Cam Ward has, like, he's just so chill in the back. He doesn't get whether the rushes that coming after him, he doesn't get flustered. And that's what I
Hmm.
like about him. Sometimes Cam Ward can get overly confident in the arm that he has, but I like what he has, and he has good foundation. He's another guy I think has a high ceiling.
Get
Jackson Dart,
improviser.
yep, yes, sir. That's what I like about him. He is a great improviser. He's a better improviser, I think, than Shador Sanders in that right. And that's where I think he has the upper leg against Shador. He is the better improviser. He's a better extender of the play, if you will, to use his legs. Jackson Dart would be my QB3, I think. Jalen Monroe is exactly where he needs to be. And Quinn, and some people might not like Quinn. Some people might like Quinn. One thing that we can say about Quinn, when he took over as a starter for Texas, they were a 5-7 program. All right. Quinn has turned around that program now, and the coach too. But they have turned it around. Sure. Did they not live up to their did they live up to their full potential of what we wanted from them? No. Right. He did not do what we wanted, thought he would go to. But nevertheless, I still think Quinn is a top 5 quarterback in this class, a wicker class, if you will. And those are my 5. I think you can. If we are now, I do have to ask you, if Carson Beck was in this draft, if he didn't decide to transfer and come and go back to school, where would he be in this list for you?
Um, he may be like at 7, maybe.
Okay,
I just don't.
so you
I wasn't very impressed with the few times I've seen him play. Um,
and
I
can
got
I,
a I
man,
got a
before
question for
was that
you.
before the season? Was that before the season started, or was that after
No,
you saw what
that
Carson
was
Beck?
during this season. He just
Okay.
I don't know. It just didn't seem like it just didn't seem like starting level NFL quarterback.
And so for the viewers, and just for the viewers would know, when Carson Beck, before the college football season has started, where would you have put Carson Beck in this list?
Oh, Carson Beck was going fairly high in Debbie drafts. I've seen him consistently taken in the top 12 of Debbie drafts. So
Mm.
he was very high up there. He might have been even maybe 1 or 2, maybe right behind Shadur
Mhm.
coming into the season.
Yeah. So that just kind of tells you how far he kind of fell back, and another reason why he might have just decided to go back, get back to school.
I got another question for you.
What's up?
Where would Drew Allar be for you if he went
Ooh,
back on his word to Penn State and came out, which he has the right to do at this point. It's not locked in stone that
he
he's going
does.
back.
He does. And if I was him, I don't know how James Franklin still has a job at this point, but nevertheless, he would probably be QB3 for me in this draft. I would still go. I would still have Shador ahead of him, and I would still have Cam Ward ahead of him, just because I like those guys. If Cam Ward had, if Miami, sorry, excuse me, excuse me, if Penn State had Cam Ward or if Penn State had Shador Sanders, I personally think that they do a better job against Notre Dame and they come out of that game on top. That's my personal opinion. Drew should probably go back to school at this point. He has the tools to be the top quarterback out of this draft. But man, was he so underwhelming. And don't get me wrong, Notre Dame has a really really good defense. So we should that shouldn't I don't want to take nothing from them at all. I just didn't like that performance from Malore in that game. I think
I
he'd be
guess
better just to go out next year.
I guess the question is, a lot of NFL, reportedly, a lot of NFL scouts like him because he's like prototypical size. He's got the big arm. He's tall. He's got a lot of traits going for him. He's sneaky athletic. Um,
Mm.
and in this draft, that could get him, selected in the top 10. But if you look at next year's draft class, which is a little bit better at the QB position,
Mm.
that may get him, drafted, late round one or into round two.
Mm.
So, as a financial decision, it may be more beneficial for him to come out this year.
Yeah, I don't know, because you're kind of starting to see where we saw, and if this is the accurate news, we saw that Carson Beck is getting $4 million to return back to school and be the starting quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. That is higher than some players' base salary right now in the
Yeah,
NFL. I don't know how you beat that,
yeah,
if
it's
I'm being quite honest with you.
yeah. We always forget about the NIL money, so
You
you
know,
got a point there. That, um,
I don't know where you go from here with these college teams and trying to keep your players at school. Well, actually, that's how you offer them $4 million, and I'm definitely coming back every single time. So, Rocco, now before we head on to our next topic, who could you see making in this list making a rise? And we'll later revisit this as the draft process goes, because we fourth and fantasy we will be creating a big board of our
mhm.
prospects. But who could you see being a riser over the off season? I think it could. I think
I'm really not
number.
in
I
love with
think
any of these guys in the bottom five, to be honest.
you know. I
I
think
think
it
Jalen
would be.
Milroe could probably make the biggest rise because
That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
he's gonna wow
Yep.
people at the combine. And if
Yep.
Ben Johnson gets the Raiders job and that's his first pick as a Raiders coach, that's gonna give a lot of cachet to him, and we could see him rise up super flex mock drafts all the way to number two overall, considering his skill set. Because we all know, as a running QB, you don't even have to be good to put up numbers. Um,
Oh yeah.
Case in point, Anthony Richardson, who I love, hasn't been exactly a good real NFL QB, but he's pretty consistently put up numbers for your fantasy team. So, um, being that there is some question marks after Ashton Genty, I mean that guy can move all the way up to number two if he
Mm.
lands with the Raiders and is Ben Johnson's QB protege.
So Rocco, where would you take Jalen Moreau? Like what? And I'm talking about in your fantasy draft. This rookie draft's coming up. Where would you comfortably take Jalen Moreau?
If that was the case, if he got
And
drafted,
let's say he gets drafted by the Oakland Raiders. They hire Ben Johnson as their head coach, and he's going to be the one calling plays. Obviously, where would you take Jalen Milrow? You yourself.
um, me personally, I probably wouldn't get him because he would be steamed up so high, and uh, I'm not gonna let that change my thought process on this draft. I'm still gonna be hammering running backs at that pick, so I'm probably gonna end up with like an Omarion Hampton, Quinshawn Junkins, somebody
Mm.
of that ilk, or better yet, I'd probably trade back if I had the two, and I seen a QB needy team. Because you could probably get the house for it and still pick up that running back you're looking for.
Yes, I could see some people going madly crazy over the hype of that. If that sequence does happen, I could definitely see people going crazy for
He would
Jalen
definitely
Milrow.
immediately be the QB1 in this draft.
Listen, when we saw, I think I sent y'all the trade I made mid season with someone who loved got when Jaden Daniels are going on a crazy run. and that person who traded for Jaden like traded me George Pickens, like four other Anthony Richardson, a couple other starters. What was it? Uh, Ferguson from the Cowboys, and a couple other guys, and I think Swift for Jaden Daniels. We could see that type of, and obviously I'm not comparing Jaden Daniels and Jalen Moreau together. They're two different quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels is a better passer than Jalen Moreau. You could almost maybe argue that they're the same kind of runner, with Moreau being bigger. He could handle more of that punishment.
The pro move would be to let somebody else draft him, and when he struggles year one, swoop in and buy him on the cheap.
Yeah. And that is our discussion on Mel Kiper's 2005 top 10 QBs. Stay tuned. This list could change. And once again, we will be creating a big board of our overall prospects and where these guys land, and and we'll probably be talking about Superflex. I feel like that's the most popular platform that everybody is playing on at this point. So that's how our rankings will be based off of.
Yeah, Superflex. One QB is basically Superflex with all the QBs taken out.
Mm-hmm. Our next topic, man, and we got one more. We got one more topic after this one. We're trying to keep the show today underneath an hour. Listen, we can talk all day if you let us. So, and once again, we just wanted to say thank you all for everybody who views the video, for all the listens, for if you download it on Spotify, for all the people who check us out on Blue Sky, interact with us on Blue Sky, who we chop it up in our group chat on Twitter and everywhere, man. On the Discord, man. We appreciated all the football discussions. Absolutely love it, and we look to grow. So thank you all for tapping in with us.
We're at the bottom level, so jump in with a growing team here.
Yeah, man. The more we check out the analytics, it seems like a lot of y'all are listening on Spotify. We love that. If that's how y'all listening, man, we love that. So we'll start to put more effort towards our Spotify. For our listeners on Spotify, making sure the link is good. We just started adding artwork to our to our episodes. So like I said, we're growing and we're making changes as we grow.
Yeah, not everybody can listen to this handsome face twice a week. Some of y'all gotta listen to the audio version, and that's cool too. Listen how you will.
So yeah, we all appreciate it, man. So thank you all for tapping in with us. Now we're going to discuss our 2024 best per position, and now we're going to be a little scramble razzle dazzle, if you will. We're going to be naming our best vet and our best rookie per each position, Rocco. And Rocco gave me this idea, actually, and I absolutely love the idea of it when he said it. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. You feel me?
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Here we go.
Can you blow that up a little bit? My bad eyes can't see that.
Yeah, I got you, big dog.
All right, I can see it now.
Big dog.
I can see you.
All right. I'm gonna let you kick it off, Rocco. I'm gonna let you kick it off, my man. We're gonna start off. Who is your best vet 2004 best vet QB?
Man, this is a pretty easy one for me. I've named him, my MVP overall, my fantasy MVP, and he just won a playoff game yesterday in convincing fashion against their arch rival, Lamar Jackson. I mean, what else is there to say? He's the best player in the NFL, bar none. And hopefully, not hopefully because I'm a Saints fan, but it would be interesting to see him, finally get a trophy this year after, being the best player in the NFL for probably a couple years now.
I like that, man. And I'm going to have to be the one who agrees with you as well. And I absolutely loved from what we saw this season from Lamar Jackson. You always think that every season, like, there's no way he can improve on that, and then he just fucks around and improves. And it's kind of crazy to see the development of Lamar Jackson from.
Man,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
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 what's
no. Go ahead.
crazy is I was just scrolling Twitter yesterday, and they had they have the Twitter contrarians who just say outlandish shit just for the engagement.
Yeah.
They love saying stupid shit just so people could tell them they're an idiot over and over again. Somebody was like, just shitting on Lamar Jackson, saying, he's possible gonna have a third unearned MVP, and he's like not even a top 5 MVP candidate. I gotta find this guy because more people should know how stupid people can be, on social media because basically people were just telling this guy he was an idiot,
He
through
is.
like 300 comments.
He is an
And
idiot.
yeah,
He is an
yeah,
idiot.
like he's like, I'm a film watcher. He doesn't add that much to the team. Like, add that much. He's the whole fucking team. I mean,
Everybody,
like,
bro. Everybody on Twitter's a film watcher. Oh my god.
like, bro, like it ain't like
Ugh.
he's surrounded with like all pros. I mean, Mark Andrews is pretty good. Zay Andrews,
Bro.
Zay Flowers when he plays is nice. I mean, he finally got Derrick Henry, but I mean that guy's been carrying that franchise for years now, and a third MVP would be well warranted. So I just thought it was funny, just something you run across. Just I want to build engagement by giving you smart takes and being a cool dude, not by just saying stupid shit. Because it seems like stupid shit gets more engagement than people having reasonable conversations. So I just thought that was kind of funny that I ran across Twitter yesterday. If I can find it again, I'll have to share it in our group chat.
Listen, Rocco. Anytime somebody starts up a conversation with, "I watch film," do you really, G? Do you really watch film though? Do you really understand what you're watching on that film?
You might be watching, but you don't know what the fuck you're looking at.
Like, come on, G. Like, sometimes you gotta take people shit with a grain of salt. But I will agree with you, Rocco. Lamar Jackson is my best vet, QB vet of 2024, and I will give you my rookie.
Let's go.
Y'all gonna think I'm playing. Y'all gonna really think I'm out here just being a homer. Bo Nix, man. He is my best rookie of the 2024 season. I'm taking him over Jaden Daniels. Why am I taking him over Jaden Daniels? I will tell you why. It's because the Broncos literally have $90 million in dead cap money. In dead cap money. And he still figured it out some way to get this team to a playoff spot. This team doesn't have any room to wipe their ass, Rocco. Like what? And I'm so tired of people underplaying the role that he had or the overall success from their season, man. Like the Broncos shouldn't be a playoff team right now. They shouldn't be doing what they are doing right now. You feel me? At least with the Commanders, they had. I can't really even say that. I've always think the Commanders had a good defense. Now, it was always like the offense that were hit or miss, right? But you're not lacking. Like you have Terry McLaurin. I really like him. You like Zach Ertz. You have Zach Ertz. But people weren't counting on coming into the season. People wasn't high on Sutton. He was cool. But people wasn't high on Sutton. People wasn't high on Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims was on most people fucking waivers, Rocco. Up until later into the, you know what I'm saying? Up until like mid to late in the last season where he just started going off.
Man, I fucking dropped that dude right before I had him on like every team, and I dropped him right before he went off. And then, of course, he just starts going off. The moment I give up on him, bastard.
The goddamn bastard. So who is your Rook? Who would you say is your rookie?
Hey, if you would asked me a few weeks ago, and we talked about this on a previous podcast, I'd be right there lockstep with you, with Bo Nix. And I think it is a two-person race with Bo Nix and my guy Jaden Daniels. But just for the sake of argument, and I do believe he is the top rookie by nose. You know, it's a very close race. But the reason I'm going with Jaden Daniels is I just think that he's overcome a lot with Washington, considering Washington, just a few years ago didn't even have a damn football team name, because their owner was such a dickhead who was a pervert, and just an overall terrible person. So Washington was nothing. Washington was shit, a moribund franchise with no direction. And they had a couple good players, but not much at all. Jaden Daniels comes in there and just put respect on the Commanders. I don't even like that football team name, but Jaden Daniels is just undeniable what he's done for that team and the big moments he's had. Let's talk about the Hail Mary, which turned a loss into a win against the Chicago Bears and pretty much ruined the Bears franchise for the whole season. They never recovered from that game. They were on a good track and they've never recovered from that game. He beat the Eagles, one of the best teams in the league, albeit without Hurts, but that team has still got that same defense and they still had to beat Saquon Barkley. So he's just had a few bigger moments, and I got a little more respect for Coach Sean Payton and his ability to coach up Bo Nix. Not saying that Bo Nix is talentless, because he has a lot of talent and he's got a lot of experience. But I feel like Jaden Daniels he carried a heavier burden for the Washington franchise. And I mean, the guy almost put up damn near 1,000 yards on the ground. He beat the Bengals, which kept them out of the playoffs, if we kind of look back, with almost a perfect game. I mean, I think he completed almost all of his passes in that game, and he had to beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals in that game. So just a few more bigger moments. And if you look at it, he had the better fantasy season per game. He's the closest thing to Lamar Jackson probably that we have in this league. So I'm gonna have Lamar Jackson as my vet, and the Lamar Jackson clone, Jaden Daniels, as my rookie this year.
I like it a lot. I will give you my RB vet, and I think this is going to be
easy.
I think this
maybe
one's
easy.
Be. It's not, because they both almost. I have to. It's a hard one, because you could really, it's a toss up, because damn near Derrick Henry was literally right behind them in rushing yards, who almost went over 2,000 yards since his damn self. But I think you have to give it to Saquon. It's hard not to. Just the overall impact of, if you look at the running game, like the running game of the Ravens, right? I can't even say that. They're both so good. And if I could give a tie, I would do a damn tie here. But I think here I have to go with Saquon Barkley for the 2024 season, as he really deserved that. What would you say? Who is your RB vet?
I mean, it was a two-person race till the end. And then towards the end of the season, after David Montgomery got hurt, it kind of became a three-person race, because Jahmyr Gibbs started winning people a lot of leagues, and with his late season performance, and what he does, through the air, can't be ignored either. But I'm gonna have to give it to the guy that's been the top guy since the beginning of the season. It's hard not to give it to Derrick Henry, but this guy just does a little bit more in the air, and he had the play of the year. and he ran for 2,000 yards. So, and that's in 16 games. Eric Dickerson, he did it in 16 games. Didn't quite break your record, but he did get his 2,000 yards in 16 games. So I think Eric Dickerson is going to put a little more respect on his season, because he kind of shit on people for the 17-game season, which is out of those guys' control. But it's kind of always been Saquon Barkley since the beginning. He's just incredible, and he is a big part of the Philadelphia Eagles' success this year. So, nothing against Jahmyr Gibbs and Derrick Henry, but it's kind of been Saquon Barkley since week one, and the other guys haven't done quite enough to take me off of that take.
All right, I like it. Now give us a rookie.
Rookie, I mean, this is kind of easy, honestly. He's the only rookie that really did much of anything, and I think he's going to be your rookie RB1. I don't see how you can go give it to anybody except for Bucky Irvin, 1,100 yards on the ground.
Bucky Irvin.
He's taken over the RB1 role from Rachaad White, who was kind of entrenched there. A very big steal, because a lot of people didn't like him coming into the draft after he ran a slow 40 and tested unathletically, but he looks anything but unathletic on the field. And we're talking about, almost over 1,500 yards of total offense for a later round rookie. And his analytics look even better. He's got a 90 offensive grade from PFF, and he's one of the best yards after contact guys. So I find it hard to put anybody else at that level, because nobody's put up the raw stats that he did. You got Tyrone Tracy, but he wasn't near as efficient as Bucky Irvin. And I'm a Tyrone Tracy guy, but Tyrone Tracy
That's our boy.
Do what Bucky Irvin did this year.
That's our boy, and I don't think he also had the opportunity like Bucky Irvin did. Steve, what? I know we're running low on time here, so we got to start ripping through these. But what I will say about this, Irving took Rachaad White's starting job, and he never got it back. Tyrone Tracy took Singletary's job, didn't start fumbling, and lost it. So that's kind of the trajectory. I think they were both on the same trajectory on the season until Tracy started fumbling, and then he got a little bit banged up towards the end of the season too, which his carry started going a little bit lower. But I have to agree with you on that one, Rocco. You are absolutely correct. Bucky Irving is my choice as well.
And one more stat for you: he is number one, not just as a rookie, but in the entire NFL in elusive rating. So he's hard to get on.
You saw that. You saw that in the film, though, coming out. And I hate this. Is once again, you can't make. And this is go back to the guy. I'm a film watcher. This is real. This is what real film watchers do. We don't take just basis of like physical attributes into hand, right? Use film watching. Like when you look at guys who are athletic, you want to see that they are athletic on film. When Bucky Irving ran at 40, I personally didn't give a fuck. I didn't care, because what did you see on film? He didn't look slow on film whatsoever, and two, he was playing above his size. That's what it is to be a real film watcher. Look at what you see on film, compare it to the production that they had, and see if that matches. That's real film watching.
And I will say, it will probably be something that I have to keep in the back of my head as I come up with my rankings, is not to knock a guy too far down my list just because he didn't test well, because There could be other things in play. He could have, just had a bad week. He could be sick. He could be partially injured. This player. So don't let it be the end all be all, and don't let it take a guy that you liked from his film watching and his stats that he put up, against real competition. Don't let that take a guy completely off of your draft list and still, because if that was the case, I would have a lot more Bucky Irvin instead of the one share that I have in my champion in DFB.
Yeah. That's a good note for the viewers, Rocco. Now, who is your bet wide receiver of 2024? The best.
Man, you full of shit if you ain't saying that it's not Jamar Chase. Get the fuck out of here. Triple crown. I mean, I don't even know what the argument would be that he's not the vet wide receiver one. I mean, looking back on it, I kind of pissed at myself that I didn't bring him up as, possible fantasy MVP because, Triple Crown ain't nothing to sneeze at, and it's, it doesn't happen very often. So, like I was saying, a lot of the vets are pretty easy to pick because all of them in their own right, hit benchmarks that are very uncommon. With Barkley with the 2,000 yards, Chase with the Triple Crown. So, fuck it. If you can't say it's Jamar Chase, then you need to stop bullshitting the people.
Stop smoking that ish, man. Stop smoking that stuff. Stay
off
to
find that
stuff.
guy and see if he didn't think Jamar Chase was a top 5 wide receiver. Asshole.
And I'm gonna agree with you, brother. I'm definitely glad to put Chase right there. You can't, if you're going anybody else except for Chase after the season that he just had, you're on that crack that they were making in Breaking Bad. That's what you was on, that crack rock. You know what I mean? Now, I feel like
that's
Rookie.
Meth'd up.
I feel like Rookie, the methamphetamines. I feel like Rookie could be a. I feel like Rookie. We might have different answers here, but I love what I saw from this guy. But who is your rookie? And in fact, I'm gonna give you my rookie, and this might make you turn a little head, but you already know how I'm feeling. Go Dogs. Lad McConkey, y'all saw the day he had yesterday. He's going to be he's going to be so good, brother. And when we look at it, and a lot of people are like, it was already said that he was going to be the wide receiver one coming into San Diego, because who was it going to be for them, right? And all you heard was all offseason, Chargers should have drafted Malik Neighbors. Chargers should have drafted Malik Neighbors instead of Joe Alt, right? Joe Alt was amazing for them in his rookie year. And they hit another nail on the head with Ladd in the same draft, Rocco. Don't think you get that same opportunity if you draft Neighbors for that combo. Before you tell me your guy, I know we got like 3 minutes. It looks like, we're coming close on time. But who is your rookie?
Let's
your
finish
rookie
this
receiver?
and wrap it up. We're gonna finish these last few rankings, then we're gonna wrap it up. For me, it's hard to go against the guy who was basically the Triple Crown winner. Outside of receptions, which Malik Neighbors got because he got 165 fucking targets. It might not have been great targets, but he got 165 goddamn targets, which is just wild to me. So obviously it's not him. It's his teammate Brian Thomas Jr. He led rookies in yards, and he also led rookies in touchdowns on a team that was just as bad as Malik Neighbors' Giants and had just as bad quarterback output for most of the year. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence, but you were not that good. I would say it's Brian Thomas for me. He looks a lot like some of the top guys in the league, maybe a little bit bigger, but he almost looks like based on his rookie year, he looks like he's on that Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson trajectory. And to be able to put up, which wound up being actual top 5 overall receiver numbers on the year, it's just, for me, it's hard to go against that guy. 85-yard touchdown, 2.45 yards per routes run, I'm sorry, which also led all rookies. Just any which way you look at it, he's just was amazing this year.
Yeah. Shout out to Brian. That would have been my second choice behind if I didn't go Lab McConkey. I did love what we saw from Brian Thomas Jr. I very much wanted my Dallas Cowboys to draft him, actually. So it makes my heart hurt. I feel like we're going to have the same guy for our vet tight end of 2024. But who is yours?
I think what's funny is the vet and the rookie are the same guy, Brock Bowers. For me, just the fact that he broke pretty much every tight end rookie record, and he was basically the number 1 tight end on the year, amongst all tight ends as a rookie. It's hard to go with anybody besides him. 112 receptions, almost 1,200 yards on another terrible franchise. Close second. There is an argument for George Kittle and what he means to the Niners, especially how good of a blocker he is. But for this exercise, I'm gonna go with Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. Yeah, for both of these choices.
When we say vet, do we mean non-rookie?
Yeah, non-rookie. But
if we're gonna say non-rookie, I'll go with George Kittle.
Okay, George Kittle. All right, my guy is Trey McBride. And I don't think it was his fault that he only had 2 touchdowns on the year. That came literally in the last weeks on the season for him to get. But
just in time, won me a championship with that week 17 performance and that touchdown, man. So I loved it.
Trey McBride is my guy, yo. He's ever since taking over that starting job, he's shown why he's had. He is the. Now I can't even say he's tight end 1 anymore because of Bowers. If it wasn't for Bowers, he would have been tight end 1 this year. But Trey McBride is my guy, and George Kittle would have been a close second. And then for a Rook, gotta go with my boy, Go Dogs. Brock Bowers,
Easy.
generational talent. I think we're not going what we've seen at the position. He's everything that Kyle Pitts everyone has thought Kyle Pitts was going to be in the league and more in his rookie year. So I absolutely love me some Bowers. And that is our 2024 best per position, whether it's a vet or rookie. And that has been our show today. Rocco, man, was today fulfilled with a lot of topics. And I'm going to throw one more hot, and it just came in the presser. It just came through the grapevine. But as I hear, the Chicago Bears are interested in interviewing Notre Dame Marcus Freeman for their head coaching position. So we will see how the rest of the college football playoffs go off, as we could be seeing the new head coach for the Bears playing the national championship.
Casting a wide net.
Very wide net. But that has been our show for today. You know where to catch us, man. We'll be back again with y'all on Wednesday. And now I can't really even say a time because now our shows are pre-recorded. But we pre-record Wednesday, but you probably will be able to find this video the next time we record early Thursday. And that is Fourth and Fantasy. Rocco, it's a pleasure as always, my G.
Absolutely, man. This was fun, man. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Blue Sky. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Spotify. We're everywhere. Just come find us. If you don't know where to find us, then
We'll
I
come
don't
find
know.
you, baby.
We'll come find you. God dang it.
Yeah, we'll come find you, baby. And like I said, we're gonna be getting thank you to all that listen to us on Spotify, yo. That's when we saw the analytics and the news and behind that, we were just like, yeah, okay, we like that. So if that's how people listen to us, by all means, tap in.
Yep. Enjoy some football on Football Sunday, Football Monday, because it's coming to an end. So enjoy these games and watch the fantasy and dynasty value of your guys tank or rise in these coming weeks.
Until next time, both in fantasy.